right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. TGIF. I don't know about you guys, but I am sure happy it's Friday. I'm happy. I'm um, just happy that my positions have been pared back a little bit. It's been a choppy, volatile week, but it's been volatile in the mornings and then in the afternoons. After for me, um, when the most Europeans go home, it's been extremely slow. It's been uncharacteristically slow in the afternoon here in North America, and I think that's part of it too. It's like you sit around and you watch paint dry. That's no fun either. But anyway, I'm just glad this week is over. Over. Mm. Almost. We still got some stuff to do today, so let's take a look at what we got here. So, um, first of all, with the in regards to the euro dollar, all right. So the euro dollar is breaking lower, and the thing about the euro is it looks weak. I mean, here let me get rid of um, this intraday stuff. Okay, get rid of this. Following the ECB meeting, I'm surprised how weak the euro was. I had the right idea when I shorted the euro at 109.97 right here. Unfortunately, I took a 20 pip loss and then it immediately fell after that. And then I reshorted it yesterday because it was just so weak. We were hanging out below that 109.50. And my cost average was 109.40, and I closed it last night at 109. Okay, so I'm not short the euro dollar, but I was short the euro yesterday. The thing about the euro is it's trading heavy, and I mean it's trading, very heavy, and that's got to be pretty concerning. Now, as I pointed out, with the dollar index. Here, let's get rid of this trend line. As I pointed out with the dollar index, we are at the 127% extension. The dollar looks a little stretched out at this point, but I don't know if it's, if you really want to fade the strength just yet. If you take this low in the euro to the high, 127% extension comes in at 108. Your 786 retracement comes in at 107.59. We're sitting in the daily chart, and if you look at relative strength, the RSI is divergent for the dollar, not so much for the euro, which suggests to me. Oh, and by the way, I did get out of my Euro Aussie, Euro Canadian, Euro New Zealand. I took some losses yesterday. I bought those, and I just ended up taking losses at the end of the day. Just say, I just didn't want them, so I got out of those. So those were like my losses. I made money in, I think, every dollar trade that I made yesterday. I lost some money in those crosses that I picked up. Fortunately, they were really small, but still, I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake on my part. I thought the euro was going to actually stage a rally. Anyway, looking at the euro dollar, I just don't know where we're going to stop. If you look at this daily, like I said, relative strength is actually breaking lower, and it's not divergent, which suggests that this move is strong. So we could possibly trade down to 108. Is that really the next support? I mean, it could be. Let's do this really quick. See, we broke through there. I mean, I'm going to have to write down 108. I don't think we're going to get to 108 today. I really don't, but I don't see any other support. I just don't. Resistance. Now, this spike low right here, until we get above this price, which is 109, well, we have the spike low over here. Let me go back to a daily. We have the spike low right here at 109.11, and that spike low right here at 109.11 until we get back above that. So I'm going to write down 1.0910, and then I just would be very careful being on the long side. Now, if we can get past that, we should bounce back to like 109. What's the low over here? 40, 50. Then we should bounce back to 109.50. Okay. I mean, it's all if. I mean, look how heavy the euro's trading. Whenever I look at a currency pair, you know, I I think about if it's trading at a certain place, and if it's so overbought, why isn't anybody selling it, right? Anybody seeing it as a good value to be sold. The flip side is if it's down and it's you go, well, it's so oversold here. The question that I have is, well, if we've been sitting down here for so long, like in the euro dollar, why hasn't anybody found it as a value down here? I mean, we're sitting down here and we've been consolidating below 109 for the last several hours. Why hasn't anybody just scooped up the euro and said, oh, you know what, I'm buying it down here. It's such a great deal. So the lack of bounce at this point in time suggests that we are going lower. Okay. But obviously, I'm not short, and I'm definitely not going to get long here. But I don't feel the desperate need to actually to be short just yet. Not at these prices. And I may be wrong. I mean, it may just drop down to 108, and I just don't participate in the move. That's fine. It's okay. I've been there, done that. I missed plenty of trades. Here's the pound. Okay, so the pound has now come down to the support that we talked about yesterday. We are now down at 122. All right. Now the question is, do we break? Because if we break this 122, and by the way, the pound, we had, was it public sector net borrowing? Yeah, and it came in worse than expected, so that just slumped the pound. That pound just looks heavy. I don't even know what to do with this thing. It's like, okay, well, ah, crap. Can you guys hold, please? Damn it. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so as far as the cable goes, I'm really not too sure what to do with it, but I'll tell you what, it's scary heavy. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at it and you go, okay, well, it's going to bounce at some point, and then have to ask the question: is it? You know, are we? Are we going to bounce? So here's your support. Again, I don't know if this is a real number. We could probably just do this. I mean, if you're going to buy the cable, right now would be the time to do it. But at the same time, if it breaks through 122, we probably will see 121.35 again. So 121.35, 122, and we're sitting on that support right now. Like, we're sitting here. Now, here's the hourly. I venture to guess while we trade below 122, whatever the spike high is here, 122.55, there's absolutely no reason to be on the long side of this. Or you're not going to take the downside pressure off until it breaks back above that, right? All right, let's go over to the Swissy. I am out of the Swissy. I exited my Swissy last night at 49. Why, you might ask? Because I know we're right at really key resistance. Okay, see that resistance right here? High of 99.49. I exited last night at 99.49. We have resistance here at the high, which is 99.55. Overnight, the high is 99.58. So I'm going to write it like this. 99.60 is major resistance. We're 15 pips away. If we break it, we should shoot for parity. Support, 99.10. It's bullish. All right, here goes my coffee. Hot coffee. Hot. Okay. Dollar yen. All right, here's the dollar yen. So we rejected yesterday at 104.20 overnight, and I know we've written down 104.20 a couple of times. I'm just not interested in the dollar yen at current levels. I am interested on a move back down to 102.80, as we've talked about. That's where I'm interested in the dollar yen, and I'm really not interested in the dollar yen unless we break above 104, 104.65. Okay, that's it. And you guys can have fun with it at this point. I just don't. The lack of follow through to the upside was concerning me yesterday, and so at this point, I'm not gonna play it. Unless it gets back down here. Okay, down around 103, I'll start being interested. So 102.80, 104.65, and 1.0280. Oops. 102.80, 104.605. It is range bound. Okay. Dollar Canadian. So the dollar Canadian, we have retail sales and we have retail sales and CPI. Okay, let me get rid of all this junk here. Okay, so, and actually what we can do is we can delete this too. So here we are, nearing channel highs in the Canadian. Okay, I'm sure that anybody who is short the dollar Canadian right now is probably thinking, oh my God, I got to get this thing back out of my rear end as it's been jammed very far up my rear end. I'm sure anybody who's short that is probably thinking that. I did play the dollar Canadian on the long side at some point yesterday. I made some money. I think I bought it at like one. I think I bought it at like 131.80 and I sold it at like 132.15 or something. So I just made a little portion of this move here. But I'm sure anybody who's short right now is probably thinking, oh my God, how in the hell did this thing rally the way that it's rallied? The scary thing about the dollar Canadian is how strong it is with crude oil up near $51. I personally think crude is going to fail. I've explained to you guys the reasons why I think crude's going to fail up here. I think there's really no other headlines for it to rally on, one, and I believe that everybody is extremely bullish. So I think everybody's too bullish. Crude, I don't see a move going to 90 or to 70, which people are forecasting. But I may be wrong. I may be wrong. I mean, and if it does, if crude finally breaks out, then the dollar yen is going to be or the dollar Canadian is going to be a short. But if I'm right, and crude oil starts to fall back towards the mid 40s, this dollar Canadian is going to 135, 137, 140, somewhere like that. You cannot ignore how strong the dollar Canadian is. In light of crude oil and the strength that we've had there. Now we do have retail sales today and CPI. All right. Now I'm gonna make the assumption that anybody who's short just wants out. So any move back down here to 131.85, you're going to find buyers. Sellers are obviously at 133. There's no ifs, and, or buts about it. So 131.80, 133, I don't think there's a whole lot to do with it right now. 131.80, 133, major resistance, and it's in a range, but that range isn't going to last forever, in my opinion. Let's do the Kiwi really quick. Now, I did exit the Kiwi dollar. I probably should have stayed short the Kiwi, but I exited it at 71.74 yesterday after we kind of pushed below these lows right here. And I was short from 72.30, 72.38. So I made some good money. It's been very frustrating for me though, because I was short at a really good price, watched it all come all the way back, got out for I took a nice profit to basically a break even. I did reshort it up here, closed it yesterday, made good money back, but I'm still a little frustrated with the Kiwi just in general. And now I have no position in the New Zealand dollar, right? I feel a little naked not being short the New Zealand dollar, but at least I've got the Aussie New Zealand long, so I guess I am still short the Kiwi some way, shape, or form. Today, the Kiwi is still trading heavy. I mean, if you look at it, how it's performing versus the Aussie, it's still trading very heavy. So, 71.50 is a 50%. 71.20 is a 618. Some spikes around here, through here. So I think the 71.20, if you guys are really looking to, if you're still short and you're really looking to cover, the 71.20 could come into play, especially if the euro still stays weak. 71.20. And then now, in my opinion, Any move now, any move we get back towards this price, I am a seller. So I don't think we're going to get up there today. I may be wrong, right? I don't think we're heading back up there today, but 72.10, with that previous support right there, that may offer some place to sell. Okay, and I wouldn't mind being a seller up there. I don't know if I don't know if I will today, just because it's Friday. But if it was any other day, I'd be a seller up there. Still bearish. All right, I'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. So the pound is below 122. Yep. Like I said, it doesn't look good. Looks heavy. And it is. It flushed the stops through 122. I don't know if that's going to hold. Just take a look at the pound Aussie really quick. You know, I'm tempted to buy the pound Aussie actually. 127% extension of what? Stand by. Not quite there yet. See the pound New Zealand. That's 161% extension. That's right. So you wonder if these are this is just a stop run in the cable below 122. I just don't know if I feel like trading these just yet. I kind of want to, but at the same time, you know. Well, I'm not. I was thinking about it, but yeah, I'm not going to right now. Okay. All right. So let's get back to analysis. Aussie. So the Aussie actually is holding up pretty well. I'm short from yesterday. I'm short, or from actually a day and a half ago, 77.07. But if you look at the Aussie dollar, this thing is still trading really heavy. And remember, we had a massive reversal. I think this Aussie looks like it can just continue to plow lower, frankly. It looks like it's just a matter of time. So support obviously is at 76. 17, so 76.15. If we break 76.15, this thing's toast. Just saying. Just saying. Resistance right now. Previous support should act as current resistance. That comes in at 76.60. So if you get an opportunity to sell the Aussie at 76.60, you should probably take it. I am going to put a bearish designation. Now you probably are wondering, well, Blake, why are you going to put a bearish designation? Because we're still in the apex of the range, right? We're still in the apex of the triangle. You're probably thinking that. Well, why? Why? Well, the fact of the matter is that's one of the biggest bearish engulfing candles I've seen in a long time. And it was a failed breakout. So when you get a failed breakout, you tend to get a breakdown. So I think it's extremely bearish. That's why I'm staying short. And I do not mind adding to my Aussie New Zealand or Aussie US dollar shorts. Okay. Especially if we start breaking lower through here. Dollar index. We're at the 127% extension. Relative strength is divergent. What if I'm wrong and we continue to rally? You look at the euro dollar and you look at the cable. I don't know if it looks like it's going to stop, right? Let's take the range high to the low right there. Oops. The 786 retracement comes in at 98.66. That's the last line of defense for bears. Because if we take that out, we may actually go challenge the resistance. So we've got to stop here, guys. If you're bearish the dollar right now, you're thinking that has to hold, because if that doesn't hold, we're going to range highs. We're going right back to this channel top. Okay? I mean, we're overbought, but we can become overboughter. We might become overboughtness. If you look at the dollar index, we've been more overboughter. George says we're going to get bigly on the dollar. Yeah, huge, like bigly. You look over here, we've been overboughterness than we are now. I'm just making up words because apparently it's okay. Look, presidential candidate can make up words like bigly and huge. I can make up words. So we can be an overboughtness more than we are now. Support. Support here is, where is it? Support is at 98.15, 98.20, because that's the breakout point. Dollar index is bullish. Overboughten ist Meister. Dollar peso. I got out of my dollar peso yesterday. I haven't looked at it since. I don't even know where it's trading right now. Now I do. 1865. Now, I bought it twice yesterday. I actually bought it again at 1855 and I sold it at 1857 or 1858, something. I scalped it. So let's pay attention to this channel, shall we? If I sound tired, I am. I've got about 3.5 hours of sleep last night. That's how crappy I slept. I've been sleeping good all week, and then for some reason last night I just tossed and turned all night. Which also, if you go, if I lose sleep because I'm in positions, I know that oh my God, the dollar's ripping. Holy crap. Oh my God, look at the dollar right now. It's getting more overboughtness. We're trying. Um, Yeah, like if I lose sleep because I'm in positions, like if I'm up and I keep thinking about, oh my God, I'm short the pound, and then I know my positions are too big, right? That's a pretty good indication. Last night I was just tossing and turning, like for no reason. I actually had to get up and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich last night to make myself fall asleep, and that still didn't work for like another hour. It's crazy. Anyway, U.S. dollar Mexican peso channel resistance 1877, and also previous support. So that's resistance right now. 18.77. Support is 1850. Any dip down towards 1850, you're going to find buyers, no doubt. This is a range. US dollar Norwegian krona. Ah, the flag. The flag. The flag. The plane. The plane. The plane. Um, Flag pattern breaking out above 826 is extremely bullish. Now, 1826, oops, 8, I'm sorry, it's not 8, 826, that would be bullish. We're in a range right now, but that thing's going to turn bullish if we break that. It's already starting to break, we broke the downsloping trend line, but if it breaks above that, it's gone. We're going to see 840, okay? Support, $817. Okay. US dollar Swedish krona. How many of you guys are long US dollar Swedish krona? Anybody long US dollar Swedish krona with me? Anybody? I know it's a very exotic currency, so I don't expect a lot of you guys to be long. Bengt is, Benedict is, Scott is, Rick is, Eddie is, Mark is. Benedict says in thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, you pulled the trigger, but congrats. Let's go see how we are at levels that we have not seen since 2009. So a breakout above 888, 8.88, that is support. It is now bullish. Well, it's been bullish, but it's not really bullish. And resistance, I'm going to write down resistance as 9, but 88% retracement comes in at 895. That may stall us today. 895. Okay. And then in case crap gets a little crazy, because you never know, you take a currency like US dollar Swedish krona and you have a lot of people short. It's not the most liquid pair in the world. If the euro makes a move to 108.50, this thing could just start tripping stops all over the place. Okay. All right, guys. Your bias chart's done. Questions? Walter, what's happening?